about 4 o'clock or 1600 hours, and I'll call this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners to order. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. Published in the press of Atlantic City, mailed to the Current and Hamilton Gazette, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in May Landing. Before we do our standard opening prayer, and I'm not sure who has that today. Okay, thank you. I'd like us to take a moment or two and pray in our own way in regards to the war that's going on in the Middle East right now. Thank you. Thank you.
Lord God, we ask for your blessing on this meeting and all those assembled here. May our actions be righteous and kind, and may we always be mindful of our obligations to each other and to you. Amen.
Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Chairman Commissioner Parker will be a few minutes late today. Ballas,
Present.
Martino,
Here.
Corsi, Days,
Here.
Patrick. Here. Gatto. Here. Kern.
Here.
Grizzly.
Here. Okay, the first order of business is the minutes, approval of the minutes from October 3rd. I'll entertain a motion that they be adopted. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Ballas. Discussion on the minutes. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ballas.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Anyone in person that would like to speak during public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and the town you reside in. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you're attending virtually, please type yes in the resolution number in the question and answer box. Any items not listed on the agenda, you may speak during public comments. You'll be called upon to speak, and a request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and address, the town you reside in. Our first item on our agenda this afternoon is a presentation on a topic that affects us all, a local cancer screening initiatives by Angela Bailey from the Cancer Community Outreach. You have the floor,
Thank you.
and thank you for being here.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Angela Bailey. I'm the manager of Cancer Community Outreach at Shore. And we're here today to basically speak up a little bit about cancer screenings and what's been going on with cancer screening delays through COVID. Right? So just to start, cancer screening is known to reduce cancer deaths due to the opportunity to find cancer earlier when it's most treatable. And additionally, some cancers can be prevented through screening methods such as cervical cancer and colorectal cancer due to removing precancerous lesions. So I wanted to just start a little bit on our rates for Atlantic County, give some background. So our 5-year 2016 to 2020 incidence per 100,000 is 490 for the invasive cancer rate, which comes to how many people, right? That's what we want to know. About 8,766 people in our county. The non-invasive cancer rate is 545, which comes to 9,719 people in a 5-year period. The big ones that are screenable are breast, cervical, prostate, colorectal, and lung, with, again, numbers that often speaks to us a little bit more. Breast cancer, 1,100 cases, prostate cancer, about 1,100 cases, lung cancer, again, about 1,100 cases, and colorectal cancer at like 680. That's how many people get those diseases over the course of a 5-year time. And I'd just like to point out that our lung cancer rate is 23.8 higher than New Jersey. So what does that mean? In a 5-year period of time, for our mortality of the same type of time, we are pretty consistent with New Jersey at 157, which comes to about 2,878 people in a 5-year period. And again, the big one is lung cancer with 672 deaths, colorectal cancer 233, breast 207, and prostate at 135. So again, our rates are pretty consistent with New Jersey, and we just wanted to highlight how important cancer screening is and kind of do a call to action of getting back to screening after the COVID delay, the thought process. So American Cancer Society held a study, and this is United States wide, but what they found is that millions of people in the United States continue to miss critical cancer screenings during the second year of the COVID pandemic. So the number of women who have reported having cervical cancer screenings dropped by 4.4 million in 2021 versus 2019. And the study showed that 1.1 million fewer women received breast cancer screening, and close to 700,000 men reported foregoing prostate cancer screening tests. So we see a significant drop from COVID, right? People just didn't get back into the doctor's offices and got those screenings going. We also highlight a CDC study where they compared incidence and mortality, and they're seeing the same kind of thing. Those numbers kind of decrease, but that 2019 to 2020, you see a big drop in cancer incidence, and the belief is that that's really a delay of diagnosis. So if we delay diagnosis, is ultimately we might see an increase in mortality rate down the road. So really, what I'm here today is just to kind of get that out in the community, the importance of getting back to cancer screenings, getting back to our doctor's offices, and how important those cancer screenings are. And that's what we're here today to ask about, is a proclamation to celebrate cancer screening and return to getting back to what we're supposed to be doing.
Very good.
No, just thank you for all that you do in this regard with cancer and getting the information out there, because as we all know, it's very, anybody can get cancer. It's very discriminatory. It's not discriminatory is what I'm trying to say. And, early detection is the answer. So thank you very much for doing what you do, and I'm sure we can do something. in this
Absolutely, you can.
regard.
Absolutely. We thank you for taking your time to come here today.
All right, thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
thank you.
All right. Good. And we'll move into our resolutions.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I'd like to move that we move 585 to the top of the agenda. Make a motion.
Second. I'll make that motion.
Second.
all right. It's been moved and seconded.
I think we may have that, Chairman. I think we may have to. We should withdraw the other one that's on the agenda as
No,
well.
we-
With no prior
Well,
withdrawal.
the other one's withdrawn, but you need a motion to discuss it, right? So I don't know if you now want to vote. My thought would be vote to move it up, and then this is going to feel redundant, but then vote again to determine whether or not you all are going to talk about it, because it came out with less than 3 days' notice, okay?
Yeah,
So you need a majority vote to then discuss it if the motion to move it up passes. Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect. All right. Been motioned and second to move 585 to the top of the agenda, basically. Any other discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Ballas,
Yes.
Martino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Okay. Well, now to the top of the agenda, we'll entertain a motion after the clerk has read the title.
You need a motion to determine if you all are going to discuss it, right? So someone needs to make a motion to consider the resolution.
I'll make a veto motion. I'll second.
Second.
Moved by Okay, moving second, any discussion on it? Not call the
Yes.
roll.
Oh,
Yep,
what
I'm
are we,
sorry.
what are we,
It's supposed to add it.
just add it.
Add it to the agenda.
Okay, got it.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to adopt. Madam Clerk, please read it by title.
Resolution supporting and confirming that the state of New Jersey does not have the resources or ability to operate as a sanctuary state, sponsored James A. Bertino.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion on this resolution.
If I can, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think all of us have had the opportunity, you see on TV, surrounding metropolitan areas are having some issues with people that are ended up being there. And in a lot of those venues, they don't really have the means to take care of them in a proper manner. When I first thought about the resolution and looking at how we in Atlantic County would do the proper thing, even though we do not control if any changes happen nationally that dictate policy, how people will be moving around the country. As we've talked about this before, we don't have a sanctuary New Jersey state. There's no policy at the moment here that indicates there's going to ever be one. But sometimes situations and policies create unintended consequences that you're left locally to deal with. And I think one of the concerns I had when I started looking at this is to say that, look, in Atlantic County, we as commissioners discuss a lot of issues and programs that we have to implement for our residents at all the times. And I don't have to report the numbers to you guys. You know the numbers. Over 100,000 of our residents are already using some kind of services out of 275,000 that we have here. And we're near the max on being able to handle them in a humane and proper fashion. And if there was, and if it does occur, and that's why I say it, I don't want to sit here and say I don't think it is going to happen. I don't think it cannot happen. We just missed an opportunity. We just had an issue at the airport where federally, which wasn't under our control, there was a decision made to possibly house people there. And I think in Atlantic County, with everyone coming together and recognizing that we don't have the facilities to be able to humanely handle and the disposition of these people, the people and folks that are in this predicament, that you guys come together and they said, let's hold it up for now. That's not to say that won't ever come back. Situations change nationally. We have no control over it. That particular facility is a federal facility. It comes under the guidelines of the president and of course those in Washington. But the impact and effects of the poor people that would be sent here, if we don't have the facilities to properly handle them, handle their health care, handle the education for their children, handle it as humane thing for us to do, I think we need to maybe send this message and say, look, officially, if it does occur, we're making you aware that we do not have the facilities to be able to handle it, or the means to do it properly without properly getting, if it's resources from the federal government to take care of these people, you got to say it. So my reason for the resolution, of course, is to say, look, we recognize there's issues going on beyond our control, but when they will impact us locally, sticking our head in the sand and saying we don't think it's going to happen here until we see people in tents or we see people living in woods. And let's not kid ourselves. If it's around the area, there's probably some of that happening in Atlantic County already. So let's not say it's not going to occur. Let's be upfront and say, look, the best that we could do as a commission board is recognize that it is possibly going to be an issue and that we're making everyone aware at the levels of government that we can do it with, that we're giving you the notice that we're not set up to handle it humanely. And I think that's only really the intent I've ever had when we talked about it, because I think I have a good feel for it. My commissioners on the board, doesn't matter about politics. This comes down to human beings. And I think we all understand handling it in a proper manner is the right thing to do.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
when I received the package for this week, I questioned which come to deviation. As you all know, 2 weeks ago, we sit here, similar resolution came up. Didn't even get a second. I agree with mostly everything Commissioner said, except it is politics. Let's be clear. Politics in terms of pressure, because if you couldn't get a second on the first time, and now it's back on the agenda this time, whoever was the creator or the author of redoing the resolution, I think this new resolution spells out a whole lot more than the first resolution. But be as it may, when I noticed at the last meeting, when folks show up either for or against, we play to the crowd. And it's the right thing to do in terms of this resolution, in terms of sending the message to not only to the governor, to our legislators. And listen, we repeat the same story over and over and over, that when it first came out, President Biden said they took a look at Atlantic City Airport, and we all came out and said no. Bipartisan, if you want to call it. At the end of the day, nobody wants folks in their communities, right? It ain't even about not having people in your community. It's about how you pay for it. It's about human rights. It's about the school system. It talks about what impact it has on our neighborhoods, right? And so I think it was a rush to judgment from the White House. But more importantly, and I said this when it first came out, I'm a close friend of the governor, and for him to come out, he was blindsided too. And so the governor's blindsided, and we talk about a sanctuary state, as you indicated. There's really no language that talks about a sanctuary state. But I will say this: whether we're a sanctuary state or not, we all God's children, and we're human beings. There's somebody's children, and folks trying to find a better life, but it has to be thought out. It has to be funded right, and you have to know where you're going. Because y'all can sit here today if you want. I can almost damn near guarantee you, for some of y'all would say in the back of your mind, I don't want him next to me. You ain't never gonna say it publicly. But you probably thinking that, right? I say that all the time when we look at the rescue mission in Atlantic City. Whether it was Margate, Longport, Summers Point, Linwood, no matter what, nobody wanted the rescue mission. Nobody wanted the neither exchange program. But throw everything into Atlantic City. It's okay. The minute folks thought it was coming to their neighborhoods and communities, they run for the hills. They unite. They get together. And so this resolution today sends a message clear, in my opinion, to the governor, to the president, or whoever else this really needs to get to. I think the issue for Atlantic City Airport is probably dead now. So it's almost like we hit the iron when it was hot, because they did the press conference. The mayors and other elected officials came out against it. So I thought that was the right time and the right thing to do at that particular time. This is more like moralizing our position. And so let's none of us forget. It could be any of us. It could be friends we know. But we ought not throw our nose up to folks. We ought to reach out and try to help. And I do this quote all the time. In the book of Matthew, it says, "What you've done to the least of these, you've done to me. Hungry, you fed me. I was thirsty, you gave me drink. I was naked, you clothed me." And these folks are just asking for a better life. But in order to provide that service, we've got to make sure that there are mechanisms in place. And so it comes to us, it goes to other municipalities. I noticed that the city of Pleasantville yesterday had a similar resolution on the agenda. I think it was tabled because there was a whole lot of unanswered questions. And I'm sure my colleagues, I think it's fair to say, we all had questions. Probably still do, right? But I think the message is clear to the governor, because we're not as real considered a sanctuary state. It gives all of us opportunity to get back to the table. And if we're going to talk about these type of programs, we have to have things in place. We have to have money in place. We have to all that it puts this together. And it has to be mindful people at the table who understand. And, because it could be any of the old saying is we're all one paycheck away from the rescue mission. But could be them today, could be us tomorrow. And so I think we do send a message, Chairman, and certainly to my colleague who put the resolution back up. Again, I think the language is clear. It's a whole lot clearer than the first one. It spells out a whole lot more. And then, does it go anywhere from here? Probably not. But we send our message and we let them know where we stood as a county, as Board of Commissioners. And I believe, and I have nothing to confirm it, Chairman, but I believe the President of the United States and others got the message when the number of mayors and elected officials came out objecting to in the manner in which it was rolled out. So again, I don't think Atlanta Airport will be, but you don't take your foot off the gas neither. But I don't believe it will happen here, especially with all the development that's going on out in that area with groundbreaking last week, which was great for the county. Things are happening, but we have to have something in place. Chairman, as they would say, I reserve the balance of my time.
Anyone else like to speak?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yes. I think that the rush to that press conference was a knee-jerk reaction. We never saw a document. Nobody I know has ever seen a document outlining the places where migrants were potentially going to be housed. The only person I heard say that he saw it was Congressman Van Drew, but he couldn't produce it. Additionally, that rush to the press conference, and then was it the next day we had an email saying that there was a suggestion that we put a resolution on the agenda? It was also rushed and went right to the most base ugliness of language that divided and caused fear in our communities. I am very glad that this was rewritten. However, I do have to agree with Commissioner Corsi. I thought it was politically motivated. I actually felt it was, a lot of it was intended to box me in to make a decision that would have given cover for politically motivated ads and mailers from my opponent, Senator Palestina. And apparently that didn't happen last week, so that all started anyway, even though we never even voted on it. And the fact that nobody gave a second to that motion shows that we all knew it was not the right thing to do. And I am still, I don't think it should be on the agenda at all. However, having a plan is what's necessary. A guarantee of funding for the services that Commissioner Bertino mentioned is necessary if we are going to take on the care of people seeking asylum in this country. I'm going to vote for it, but I just think the whole thing was ugly and a mess and rushed.
Anyone else like to speak? Yes.
Mr. Chair, yeah. So, just real brief. Number one, my decision to not give a second or support the resolution that was on the agenda 2 weeks ago had nothing to do with people coming here. I was not intimidated by the people that came here. I wish we had crowds like that every meeting that we're here. The reason I could not support that or give a second is the way it was written, because it questioned the Attorney General's guideline on how immigrants are treated. And, as you see, I made a copy, or I had Tara make a copy of the Attorney General's guideline, which I'm sure everyone read anyway. We need to have that language. I was in law enforcement when the language came out and directed our officers to receive that training as per the Attorney General's guideline. And you can't have a population that doesn't look like your ordinary white male or white female that is afraid to go to a police officer to report a crime because they're afraid that their immigration status will be checked, and they may not be here legally, and they're afraid to report a crime, whether it's a rape, a murder, a burglary, or whatever, a broken window. They should have the ability to go there without having to be worried that they're going to be sent back to their country that they came from because they're here illegally. And everything else that's in that guideline protects them, whether, through the whole process of, going to court, being a witness, if they're a defendant, their immigration status being used against them because of that, and for them to be treated, fairly, just like Commissioner Corsi said, earlier, we're all God's children. We all need to be treated exactly the same. So having language that would dispute the Attorney General's guideline, I could not support. So that's why I'm very happy that that language was changed in this new resolution. And I wholeheartedly can support this new resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak?
I would just briefly say that Commissioner Ballas and I spoke about this from the beginning, and I don't think there was anyone up here at the last meeting from my colleagues that was afraid of a crowd. I think that is the most ridiculous notion that I have heard. But listen, I understand, sometimes the truth gets played out in the media, even if it's not true. There were issues with the language of that other resolution. There was issues and questions around the process of the resolution even appearing on the agenda. So to me, that's not a lack of fortitude on our part, I think, or leadership. I think that's an example of good leadership from this commissioner board, not playing politics. Because listen, if it was politics, we all could have just voted on it and passed it. But that's not what we did. No matter who was trying to throw a zing, people think somebody's trying to throw a zing at them, or trying to, whatever politics are being mentioned, or what people think the motivation was. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't have any knowledge of that. No one called me and spoke to me about any of it. I think that was a wise decision if that was the case. But I did speak to my colleagues up here, and our reasons for not moving forward on that resolution was because we felt it was not a good resolution. There were too many questions. There were too many unanswered questions that we had up here. None of us felt good about it. So to say that we're playing politics, with this resolution, I don't agree. We all made the statement with the first resolution that I and Commissioner Corsi sponsored together with a call bipartisan, and then we had the press conference in Atlantic City. And I thought we took leadership and we made our position crystal clear on how we felt. And the other resolution that came up, I just didn't see what the purpose was. The language in it, the purpose, the intent of it, it just didn't make any sense. And there were some questions that we needed to, there was more work that needed to be done by us before presenting it and passing it. And some of the things that Commissioner Ballas just brought up, words like sanctuary state. But are we a sanctuary state?
No.
We're not.
So how incompetent would we have been to pass a resolution calling for the end of a sanctuary state that doesn't exist? So I'm proud of my colleagues up here. I'm proud of each and every one of you. I think we did the right thing. And, I just wish some folks that go on the radio or go on their media outlets and rile up the people and get people excited should take a second to think about what they're doing. As we look at across the world, we have violence across the world, unprecedented violence that's happening now on border issues. And so to go into the media and print out stories or to say things without even picking up the phone and speaking to any of us on this commissioner board, I thought was irresponsible. And it's a shame that that happens, but I understand that media people have to sell papers. So while they're selling papers, we're dealing with facts and we're dealing with truth. And that's just the reality of it. That's all I have.
Anyone else?
Oh, you want me to talk? Oh,
No.
My time. He opened the door.
It looked like you wanted to say something. I
Preserve
the balance of my
I
time.
wasn't gonna say nothing, but since he opened the door, I mean, listen, thanks for the opportunity to, how much time I have left? I have a minute left of my time, but, all due respect to, Commissioner Parker, again, I hear you loud and clear. We can call it what we want to call it, and I get it. Politics is politics. All politics is local. At the end of the day, nobody on this dais, even including me, had no questions at that particular time. First of all, I didn't get a second, so it wasn't even a conversation. But nobody even raised the issue. If they had questions about the resolution, it was on the agenda. So if we want to talk about politics, we can talk about the politics of it, but, I get your point.
I didn't
At
think,
the end of,
I didn't think it should have been on the agenda.
Well,
That's
well, you
something
thought-
that was something that we needed to air out, not during the meeting. We should have dealt with that on our own time. But I had issues, as everybody knows, and I was vocal about it on why it was on the agenda anyway, without a sponsor. But those are things, again.
so let me say this, Chairman, and I'm done with it. So in order to put something on the agenda, it has to be approved by the chairman. He sets the agenda. It can come from the administration. So let's be clear, we don't talk about Robert's rule. The chairman sets the agenda. Whether you have a sponsor or not, he sets the agenda. You go to the administration, they talk about what they want to put on the agenda, you either okay or you don't. Whether you had a sponsor or not, it got on the agenda. Commissioner Bettina sponsored, moved it, right? Died for lack of a second. That's not, the point I'm making was, if we had questions, that would have been the perfect time. Even before we brought it back, after it died for lack of a second, we could say, hey, well, the reason I didn't support it, X, Y, and Z. It didn't happen that way. That's water behind us. I think this language now is very clear. What it is we're saying is making a statement. And sometimes stuff happens around it. It's a rush to judgment, right? But I know there's some clandestine and esoteric meetings that's going on that talked about this resolution coming on the agenda. And don't get to the point where I start calling the names, because I don't want to embarrass none of you. But there was conversations prior to it getting on the agenda. So you might not have been, but then again, you could have been a part of those conversations. But the fact of the matter is that since you raised that issue and the chairman opened the door for me to have a few more remarks, which he shouldn't have done, I'm prepared to vote on the resolution.
Thank you.
Commissioner Kern.
Okay, I do have something I want to say that, I put a couple of my thoughts down. I do want to thank Commissioner Parker, Commissioner Ballas, and the individuals that came here last week. Thank you. We heard you, we listened to you, we heard you, and your input, any of our community, we appreciate you coming here and giving us your input. In regards to the resolution itself, and not all these, some of these other things go, I'm just gonna say I struggle and am empathetic to the plight of illegal immigrants. However, our fiduciary responsibility is to the current citizens of Atlantic County, especially those who require our services of some kind, whether it be medical or social services, which represent over a third of our population. Adding more burden to the county services would most certainly adversely impact our current at-risk populations and their well-being. I would like to see us to continue to partner with all of the organizations that provide the much-needed services, recognizing that our county is one of the poorest in the state of New Jersey, sadly enough. That we do not further burden the current at-risk population. And that's my comments as to the need of this resolution.
I'd like to say a couple of words about it. The original resolution, in my opinion, was badly flawed. It's wrong, simply wrong. Facts were wrong. It wasn't the right thing to put forward. The topic of illegal immigration has been discussed on radio talk shows by people, national media. The humanitarian crisis at the border, we all well aware of that. 2.8 million, I understand, folks have crossed the border illegally to date just for this year. 2.8 million. When you start doing the math, that's about the equivalency of taking the entire population of Atlantic County and multiplying it by 10. We're talking about a huge number of folks crossing the border illegally. That's just for this year thus far. That doesn't include previous years. And that only includes the folks that the government has documented as the numbers. And New Jersey, of all places, if not the most densely populated state, it certainly is one of the most densely populated states in the country. You know, we all know that legal immigration has been the strength and support and success of this country. No question about that. But we have a situation here that's huge. It's gigantic. And I, like you, Commissioner Corsi, I'm a Christian. And I believe about, the remarks that you made before about what you do the least to me, you do unto me. I get it. I fully get it. But we have a situation here where people are coming across the border en masse. And we have to be vigilant in New Jersey and stay a non-sanctuary state. I did look on the internet. There's about a dozen cities in North Jersey that are sanctuary cities. That's their decision. But we're a non-sanctuary state. And I think this resolution basically capsulizes how this board feels. So that concludes my remarks.
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Yes.
question. Who drafted the resolution?
This one,
Last one.
I just
The
was
first one?
questioning it, so never got that far.
The first one came as a request from the county executive, and it was given to the attorney,
The question was who drafted it?
attorney directed.
So I'm gonna have to start questioning your duality because. Oh, I will. The question is, he said it was fraud in there. I mean, hell, you the attorney, I expect you to.
We didn't know, fraud.
Fraud,
I'm sorry, I say fraud.
So if you're the attorney and you wrote it, I'm gonna have to start questioning you, and you know, I have a lot of faith in you. But if you put a resolution up and there's some question about it,
Look, you can question me. It's you.
I have all the 10, that's what we're paying for.
It was an
You gotta
act.
say what pay yourself, but-
So the request was made. I drafted it as it was framed and I put it forward.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna belay. Because the reason I asked you the question, I wanted to know who drafted it, right? So.
I wrote it.
When you wrote it, what was your thought? You wrote it. I mean, you didn't give no feedback or what you thought?
I don't think that's appropriate.
That's-
You
Yeah,
don't have
that's-
to- I'm asking the question.
I have every right to say, I think
He's the
that's
attorney.
inappropriate. And so I'm asking our attorney if that's an appropriate
He's the
question.
attorney. He has
I'm asking our attorney if that's an appropriate
He was
question.
directed, so. what do you do?
One at a time, one at a time.
If you're asking me to disclose a confidential conversation, I can't do that.
I'm
but-
gonna ask you about the conversation.
Go ahead.
I asked you, when you wrote the resolution, did you personally have any questions regarding the way the resolution was gonna be written? Not who you had the conversation with.
That's not his role.
Look, I'll tell you what had happened. I looked at a letter requesting that it be created, and I created it in the way that I thought the letter requested it to be created. So personally, if you want to ask me personally,
I think
He's
that's.
not
That's
Shut it down. That's not what hard to do.
Shut it
What
down.
you- Wait, in terms of-
I need his opinion. I'm not worried about his.
Oh,
I understand that.
No. I'm talking. Now you don't have to agree with me, but I'm asking a question. I think he answered my question. I'm tired of you always, every time I ask a question, you think you're gonna cut me off. You're not.
I didn't do that.
I asked the question, whether I agree with what his statement was or not, Chairman. That's one, he answered my question.
All right.
I don't need all y'all worsting around there talking, oh, you shouldn't answer. What the hell are y'all? None of y'all no damn
just
lawyers.
as much right to have a voice as you do, Kurt.
You're not a damn lawyer.
Neither are you.
I didn't say I was. That's
So
why I
you
asked you.
have just as much right to the floor as you do.
That's why I asked
So
you.
that's why every one of us said that we thought your question
And
was
you noticed I
inappropriate.
didn't ask you because I knew you didn't know.
We have
I didn't ask you.
we have every right to say it.
That's why I didn't ask you, because you didn't know it.
You have one voice, we have one voice up here.
And
You
I
asked the
and I
question,
spoke.
you spoke, and then we spoke too. And we have every right to.
spoke while I was speaking.
We have every right to.
Gentlemen, let's move
And we
on.
did.
Let's move on.
No, you don't grandstand.
Let's move on.
All right,
That's
don't
not
let me
to be grandstanding.
grandstand.
I said what I said.
Well, you didn't say much, but the point was I asked the attorney. You're not the attorney. You speaking for him now?
I said what I said. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
You
Come
want-
on,
you
come on.
want me to-
Gentlemen,
I said move
Gentlemen,
on
that's
because I
it.
said so.
come on.
Yeah.
Well, who the hell are you?
I'd like to
You
open-
said so.
I'd like to open the meeting to the public so they
You
can
can
have their
bump your
comments.
damn head.
All right, please. Open the meeting to the public for their comments.
And we moved on.
What? Not because of you.
All right, please, please.
You can go back and forth. You
Let-
will not beat that
Let
debate
the
with me.
gentleman speak.
I'm not gonna have a middle school conversation.
Okay, when you find out you can have a real conversation, let me know.
We're done. Come on. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, my name is Christian Moreno Rodriguez, I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey. First and foremost, I do want to say that this is an entirely different conversation than what we've had the last 2 weeks and the last 2 months. So right off the bat, I want to differentiate two things. There's policy regarding this airport migrant proposal, and then there's anti-immigrant, we're talking sanctuary states, we're talking the immigrant agenda of New Jersey and the United States of America. On the airport proposal, on policy, we can agree to disagree between activists, organizers, committee members, and elected officials. Our message, our contention was never against the policy or for the policy. You as elected officials are elected to decide those kind of things. And unfortunately, in my opinion, we have a 7-2 Republican majority. And so you're gonna do what you have to do regarding policy. And so our message was from the beginning that you spun off from the policy and you started spewing anti-immigrant and xenophobic statements. At that press conference, whether it was Congressman Jeff Van Drew, whether it was State Senator Vince Paladina, whether it was Chairman Risley, that was always our message, was that you went away from policy and you started spewing rhetoric, hate speech, xenophobia, and that's where it crosses a dangerous line. And so we're glad that somehow, this new resolution has removed the xenophobia, has removed the hate speech. You took out the wording that said undocumented immigrants are a burden on the community, because we're not. And so I appreciate that you've come back to the policy. While we may disagree on that part, because as an organizer, I'll be very honest, I am in support of sanctuary state policies. I agree that we're currently not a sanctuary state. I myself would like to change that. We're currently fighting to shut down the last immigrant detention center in Elizabeth, New Jersey, to shut out to those activists. But when you start spewing misinformation that we're a sanctuary state, that we're harboring criminals, and that we're not following, all these different policies, is dangerous rhetoric for us. And so we're glad that you yourselves have admitted, have done a 180, have somehow looked finally at the New Jersey Immigrant Trust Directive on its face and recognized that nothing in there spells out sanctuary state policy. And so from that point on, you're gonna do what you have to do on this resolution. If you have to go and support of it, I understand, because we're gonna disagree on policy. But I am glad that you have taken the rhetoric out of this, because what it was before was dog whistle politics. It was fear mongering, and it was detrimental to undocumented community. I'll just leave it with one last sentence, is at the end of the day, if you don't support our undocumented immigrant community, don't go out to eat at your favorite restaurant. If someone here has the guts or the courage, ask Congressman Jeff Van Drew who built his backyard deck. Anyone here has the courage, ask Mayor Marty Small who cleans his house. Because the answer will shock you, and the answer is there. We have receipts, they're our members, they come to us. If you don't support undocumented immigrants, don't use our labor, right? Because we make your bread. But when it comes to giving us dignity and respect, that's a whole different conversation, apparently. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak? In regards to this resolution only?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Celeste Fernandez, Galloway, New Jersey. Thank you again, I have to say, because you had, how we say, empathy to go over the resolution again and see what it was wrong and what is worked. Again, and I'm gonna say it again, we don't want nobody dumping in here in Atlantic County immigrants. That's gonna affect our communities, that's gonna affect our people, that's gonna affect our economy. We're not in favor of that. But also, we're not in favor of attacking our community, attacking our people, and put the languages over there. I'm not in favor of that. So let it be clear and let it be known that we are in support for a better Atlantic County, that we are in support of a better economy and working together, not attacking each other, like I said and mentioned before. Commissioner Bertina, I hope it's about policies and no personal agenda against our Latino community. Because this is again in here, you know, and it's not nothing against you. I don't have nothing against anybody. Atlantic County is my home too. It's home to my grandkids. I have 6. I have 3 children. So the same way you want to protect this county, I will. And I am. And that's why we are here. But we're not going to allow no one to divide us, to create hate and division among us. And when I said among us, I'm not talking about just the Latino community. I'm talking about every community. Because when we serve everybody. And I'm not going to repeat what Christians say, because that's true. I'm a small business owner. And I help other small businesses to form this business. And let me tell you, so many businesses, again, cleaning the house, landscaping, doctors, teachers, educators, okay, professionals, right here. So that's all we are. Okay, we supported the country economy. We are supporting the county economy. So if we work together, our economy, our present, and our future is gonna be better. Thank you again.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay. If not, well then, anyone online? Ladies, no? Okay, all right, then that concludes the public portion of this question on this resolution, so. Readiness to vote, I sense a readiness to vote. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on 585?
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I am required at Congregation Beth Israel for the other piece of hate that's going on this week. That's good.
so let us go back now to our resolutions. We're going to go back to resolution or grants, number 556, please. Madam Clerk.
Agreement with New Jersey Transit Corporation through Federal Transit Administration, Section 5310 grant funding to accept one vehicle to provide transportation services to seniors and individuals with disabilities, amount not to exceed $127,300.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? The only thing I'd like to say is that all of these money resolutions were all discussed in the Budget Committee by our Chair, Amy Gatto. Any discussion on 556? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Frisbee?
Yes. Please read 557.
Amending resolution number 354 adopted on July 11, 2023, a grant from the New Jersey Department of Children and Families for the continued operation of the Atlantic County Family Success Centers that increased $64,715.
Move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any public comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Case?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes, let's move it quick. What number you want? 581. All right, there's been a request to move resolution 581 up at this time. Second. Moved and seconded to do that. Thank you. Mr. Gatto and Corsi.
All those in favor?
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Then, Clerk, would you please read 581? Lot of curveball today.
Memorandum of Agreement with Aspen, New Jersey, Council Number 63, Local 2302, authorizing a formal written collective bargaining agreement incorporating the terms of the MOA for a 4-year period commencing January 1, 2022.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern.
And
Yes.
Jim, give a brief synopsis.
Yes, you did the budget committee. Yes, Jim, you want to give a brief synopsis?
We're not in the budget committee.
You did a really good job with this before.
Thank you. This is a memorandum of agreement which would establish a 4-year agreement. It would be retroactive to January 1, 2022, and would run through December 31, 2025. This was accomplished through a long series of negotiations between the union representatives and county officials. I did not personally participate in these negotiations, as these were handled largely by then Assistant County Counsel Joseph Moore, who all of you have met on prior occasions, and he did a very, very good job with this. He was ably assisted by people from the finance unit of Family and Community Development. This contract will apply to the employees who are employed in the Department of Family and Community Development. He was also ably assisted by Tammy Robbins of the Department of Human Services. And I think we've come up here with a very, very good agreement. There was a general consensus that the people in this unit were underpaid. They were having problems attracting people and hiring people. So the agreement, as is spelled out in the memorandum, contains several items that are of importance. Raising start salaries for the years of the contract, and then giving increases on a graduated basis. Those having worked in the unit from 2017 or prior thereto get the larger increases in each of the years. And then they also get enhancements to their base salary in several of the years of this, so that the thought process there was the increases in start salaries better enable the department to hire people in to jobs where they need staff, because this is a very, very busy department, services a lot of people with services, and that was needed. And then these other increases through what I call a hit to base salary, and raising, providing a special incentive for the social workers, helps to retain the people who are there, who are good workers, and that's necessary to keep a department functioning efficiently, to provide these services, to keep good people who you have, keep them on board so they don't look to go to another agency. So that's all laid out here. And there were some other items that were changed. For instance, on the holidays, the union has agreed that we would eliminate the Lincoln's birthday as a holiday and add the day after Thanksgiving as a holiday. And of course, the agreement tracks the change in the state law that brings Juneteenth as a holiday. The union has requested that we join with them to move this to the actual federal holiday. The state of New Jersey celebrates Juneteenth on the third Friday of June. And that sometimes will fall on the actual holiday, but at other times it doesn't. And the union's requesting that we join in petitioning the state to actually move this to the federal recognition of the holiday, whatever that might be. So those are the major items in this. And we also have some new titles that are listed in an appendix in the classification plan, which is at the end of the agreement. Keep some of the same titles, create some new titles, and there's some changes in the grades of some of these titles. But it's we think, a very, very fair contract for the union. I think they agree with that. I believe Ms. Rassman is here in the audience tonight, who's one of the union officials. Sherry, I'm not sure, what's your title with the union?
I am the vice president.
Okay. So we think it's fair, and we therefore ask you to approve this resolution, to approve this contract going forward. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Yes.
So I would have to agree with Mr. Ferguson. I think most of us would, right? This has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
It has been, and listen, I love Mel to death, but she was driving me up the damn wall. And listen, she was doing what she's supposed to do, represent her membership. Some agree, disagree with. However, I'm glad we're where we're at today. It shows that the county, in conjunction with the unions, are moving in the right direction, right? Because we all hear the same problem, underpaid, can't keep employees, the whole 9 yards. So it's another step in the right direction, and we certainly applaud union reps, we applaud the administration, because I don't know how many times in the last couple of years, most of us have been here a while, got gray hair fooling with Mel, right? But be as it may, I agree. I think that most, if not all, the membership agreed. I knew one of the sticking points for a while was the Black Friday. I got that out of the way. And most of the unions now have agreed to do the Black Friday, which is good. I'm sure there's some more negotiations go with some other union. But it tells us that the union, the county are putting their best foot forward in order to keep good employees. You gotta pay them, right? We have that same problem everywhere. And where you go, you got, whether it's the police department, municipalities, blah, blah, blah. You gotta pay people. And nobody's, and I say this all the time, and I've caught hell from the unions about when I make this statement, nobody's getting 100%. Well, nobody gets 100%, but it's a give and take. And so at the end of the day, I think it was a good give and a good take. And that's why it's on the agenda today, because the common, cooler heads prevail. And this is where we're at today. So we commend your staff and we commend the union for an outstanding job. And let's move on.
The negotiations were tough, but we never take it personally. It's part of the process. And
Well, I don't take nothing up here personally either. I just make this point.
at least I don't. I don't. It's part of the job, and we do the job.
Thank you,
So
Mr.
you.
Ferguson. Thank you.
Chairman, I'd like to say I'm proud of, again, I've said this with all our other contracts. I'm proud of what our administration has done with our union contracts this year. I'm proud of the union representatives. We have one in the room. Mel's here. I mean, Sherry's here. You got me saying Mel. You got her all in my head. So we've all dealt with her. Mel, we know we love you. I know how tough it was, because we all get the phone calls, when things don't seem like they're going well, and we have to continually say, we can't get in the middle of the contract. We can't get in the middle of negotiation. But what we could do up here on the commissioners board, and this was early on when I came on, we gave a directive this year, and I keep pointing back to that. We unanimously gave the directive that we wanted our union employees to start making more money. We wanted to start to see that come up. And it wasn't a major fight. I remember listening and we were all sitting up here thinking whether it was going to make a difference or not. Well, it has. It's made a difference. And I've heard from every one of the unions that we've signed contracts with so far, and many of them say best contract they've ever had. And that's something that we all can be proud of. So congratulations to all of us.
I would just like to add, I fully agree with what's been said. And there's a lot of backup material. If anyone likes to look at it, right on the internet. There's about 8 pages of backup material on this contract, on the resolution 581. So it's there for anyone to see.
It's a good contract.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ferguson.
Thank you.
All right. Sensing a readiness to vote.
Did you?
Oh, I'm sorry, public comment. I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
My name is Sherry Grassman. Most of you know me. I just want to take this opportunity. I am the Vice President of Local 2302 for ASME Council 63 for the state of New Jersey. I am Melanie's right hand. We're yin and yang. However,
Literally.
I want to stand here and say that, yes, this is an outstanding contract. Our members voted on this contract. We had 114 yeses and 4 noes to the contract.
Nice.
This was amazing. It was a long time coming. I can promise you, we will not belabor it for 2.5 years, the next contract. But I want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Del Rosso, for Jim Ferguson, for Mr. Moore, for his participation, and each and every single one of you, who I think I have your personal phone numbers because I'm a pest. However, there has not been one opportunity that I did not reach out to one or more of you for clarity and direction in this manner. Mr. Del Rosso and I have become very close as well, but thank you. Because of the diligent work that we collectively did, we have retained 3 employees that I know of that had secure positions outside of Atlantic County government that were looking to leave within the next week or so. Because of this contract, they are going to stay because they have several years. Yes, that's commendable. They already have several years with Atlantic County government. We have some retirees that are going to stay throughout 2021 because of the contract that we have. And I don't know, out of the 37% of employees under local
Not 2021.
2302 that were, huh?
Not 2021.
No, I'm sorry, 2025.
2025.
I don't know how many of the 37% of the employees that we have that are receiving public benefits from Atlantic County will not have to receive public benefits, but there are quite a few that will not be working secondary jobs and tertiary jobs
That's good.
because of this contract. So I want to take the time to very much thank each and every one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
And I'm off to our meeting. So,
And
114 to 4.
yes.
That proves you can't make everybody
There's
happy.
always
You
a.
can't.
Well, definitely
You can never
again.
make everybody happy.
It works.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak on 581? Not? Okay, we'll close the public portion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Absolutely, yes.
Frisbee.
Yes. Okay.
Do we want to move anything else up?
No, that's it for me.
The rest of the agenda. Good of the order. No.
Yeah, let's get back to 558, Madam Clerk.
For an application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services for an alcohol education and rehabilitation grant, funded amount $770,585, county cash match $109,716.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Ballas. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Frisbee.
Yes. Please read 559.
For an application and acceptance from the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness for the federal fiscal year 23 state Homeland Security Program grant, amount not to exceed $240,522.21.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Corsi. Days.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Frisbee.
Yes. Please read 560.
For an application and acceptance from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for a continuum of care for the homeless planning grant, funded amount $25,573, county cash match $6,394.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Fortune, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Dorsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Please read 561.
Amending resolution number 176 adopted on April 7, 2020, a grant from the state of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the Local Efficiency Achievement Program County Coordinator Fellowship Grant to reflect the actual working days of a coordinator. Funded amount $22,876.71.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Days. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alice.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Dorsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 562.
Professional services agreement with Allies and Caring Incorporated to provide public health education services to underserved communities, amount not to exceed $293,383.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes. Please read 563.
Professional services agreement with various vendors for perishable food quotations and purchases, amount not to exceed $1,276,780.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 564.
Amending resolution number 19 adopted on January 17, 2023, a competitive contract with various vendors for the provision of home care services under the Division of Welfare and statewide respite grant programs, net increase $24,930.75.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 565.
Amending resolution number 329 adopted on June 20th, 2023, a competitive contract with Atlantic Care Behavioral Health for the operation of a Family Success Center, net increase $9,800.
Move.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Days. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 566.
Bid contract with War and Enterprises Incorporated to furnish and deliver 3 Ford minibuses, amount not to exceed $327,000.
Moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Yes.
Sure, just one question, Jerry. The earlier resolution with the, what was it, 127,300 from NJ Transit, is that funding part of this or?
No.
So it'll be 4 buses then?
It's, yeah, correct. They're really giving us a bus there. They're not giving us the money. That's the equivalent of what it costs to buy that.
So we'll get 4 new transportation buses. Beautiful. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Replacement,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
making sure, you said no, it sounds like we're adding to the fleet,
Okay.
Well, no, they're,
replacing,
yeah, we're not getting old, we're not buying old buses, are we?
Right.
no, I know, you said we're getting 4 new, it
No, no,
sounds
no,
like
no.
we're adding to what we have.
The county does phenomenal job with transportation.
Yes,
of
we
our
do.
seniors, our veterans,
Yes, we do.
and, you know, we don't want them riding around in dilapidated vehicles. You know, the county, our maintenance department does a great job keeping them running, but, you know, they get a lot of miles on them because
Absolutely.
they do a lot of transportation, and it's great that we're able to, you know, get one given to us and purchase 4 new ones.
Mhm.
Any other discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes,
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly.
Yes, please read 567.
Renewal lease agreement with the Center for Family Services for use of county-owned premises located at 201 South Shore Road, Northfield, not to exceed $68,400 revenue generated.
Move. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Days. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. Okay, in regards to 551, we're going to need a motion to remove it from the table.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Days. To remove it from the table. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll entertain a motion to adopt 551.
Memorandum of Agreement between the Atlantic County Sheriff's Office and Stockton University for the provision of sheriff patrol services, amount not to exceed $75,000, revenue generated.
Moved.
Thank you. Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? I know Commissioner Ballas has some
Come
questions,
on, my baby.
but they were answered, correct?
Yes, yes. Basically, after this was tabled and we had I guess it was a budget meeting
You got a bunch of.
and Commissioner Gatto gave up her spot so I could sit on that, my first budget meeting ever, although it was very quick. This is just for budgeting purposes, and we're not voting in support of this program and having sheriff's officers out there. It's just for a transfer of money if needed.
Yes.
So I will be supporting it.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
But we said that at the last meeting when you raised all that hand.
But you should have tabled it. That's why I said no.
On the table, you complained. But anyway.
Any public comment on 551? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 568.
Alternate method contract with Tyler Technologies Incorporated to provide civil serve SaaS software licenses for the sheriff's office, amount not to exceed $44,000.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Fortune, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alice?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. Please read 569.
Interlocal agreement with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority to bid and manage community development block grant ADA improvements to the Hamilton Library, amount not to exceed $24,686.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? None, any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 570.
Acceptance of deeds and easements from various grantors in accordance with Atlantic County planning standards.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 571.
Agreement with Children's Specialized Hospital for the provision of special child health services in Atlantic County, amount not to exceed $17,000.
Second.
Discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, please read 572.
Sourcewell National Cooperative Contract with McKesson Medical for the purchase of COVID-19 vaccines, amount not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Kern, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. Please read 573.
Amending resolution number 730 adopted on December 20th, 2022, an alternate method contract to add 2 law firms to the list of conflict municipal prosecutors to serve on an as-needed basis in the Central Municipal Court of Atlantic County, $400 per session.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ballas, second by Commissioner Kern. Discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just to mention the discussion on this, we previously appointed some conflict attorneys, and we just the volume of conflicts and who can do which cases, we needed to add more. So that's the rationale.
Thank you. That's correct. Thank you. Any other discussion? Any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, we have a bunch of 159, so we'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt.
So moved.
Thank you. Moved by Commissioner Gatto, second by Commissioner Parker. Any discussion on the 159s? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. Moving on to 582, it's a reappointment.
Reappointment of Cindy Herdman Ivins, Naomi Jones, and Claudia Ratzlaff to the Atlantic County Youth Services Commission for a term to expire on October 1st, 2026.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Corsi, second by Commissioner Gatto. Discussion. We thank all those who volunteer their time for our boards. Very much appreciated. Public comment? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes, 583, please.
Authorizing consent for a roadway solicitation event by the Absecon VFW 9462 at the intersection of Mill Road, County Route 651, and New Jersey Avenue, County Route 601, in the city of Absecon on Saturday, November 11th, 2023, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Parker, so I'm sorry, Commissioner Corsi, second by
And you trying to say
Commissioner Parker. Hey, nothing like. Discussions.
We'll fire today.
Hearing none, any public comment? Please call the roll.
Ballas?
Yes.
Martina?
Yes.
Dorsey?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes. Okay. That completes our resolutions. Completes our resolutions. Reports, a special committee for the board. Anybody like to give a report? Yes.
I have a couple of things and, excuse me for a little bit, because this is such a busy board, the, Mental Health Advisory Board. First of all, Atlantic Prevention Resources has a youth cannabis prevention work group, going on right now. And that's, Cannabis Prevention Work Group is developing a campaign to outreach to parents to lock up their edibles, marijuana, to prevent youth from getting to it and bringing it to school. We know that a lot of that's going on. So they're gonna focus on the way THC affects the teenage brain, how to talk and support youth, and signs and symptoms when a youth might be smoking or ingesting. New Jersey's 8th Annual Suicide Prevention Conference. This is open to anybody. It's online. You can register at www.suicidepreventionconference.vfairs.com. But you can go on the New Jersey Health Human Services to find that as well. Like I said, there's no fee and anybody can sign up for this. The naloxone, we have, there is free naloxone in many pharmacies throughout here. You have to be 14 years or older. You don't have to give any information at all. And you can find information on that, where to visit for the pharmacies in this area. It's reachnj.gov or you can call it 844-reach-NJ. So that's a good program as well. They have mental health has a virtual mental health awareness trainings. One's October 17th. When is it today? 17th. So we missed that one. But there's another one. It's called Question, Persuade, Refer, QPR. Again, you can register online. October 30th is the next one, and it's 2 hours. I have attended these, and they are very, very informative. And you can also ask to host any organizations if you think, you have an organization that would like to have that. And back to our flu vaccinations, they are still going on throughout the county, and that is on our website. We also, John and I were both at the Disability Advisory Committee, had their awards, the Donnie Sykes Awards, and they do this annually. And it really is amazing what some of these individuals go through in life and have just encountered, and their strength and the people that they choose to honor during this. They also honored Joe Brown, who was, in charge of that committee for many, many, many years. He was so committed. This is a person throughout Atlantic County that the things that he did within this, within the United States was incredible. And he was here, and there's certain programs due to his efforts and the efforts of the Sykes family. So that was very nice today.
And I'd certainly like to add that the person that put together the film was our Mr. LaFever back there. He did a great job with it. I thank you.
Yes. It was.
Super job.
It was a really
Thank
nice
you.
job recognizing Joe.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just to, on that first item that you brought up, Commissioner, on the marijuana.
Yeah.
Kind of protection and information for parents.
Mhm.
Can we pass that information over to WCATA as well? Because I think both boards,
Yes.
would support that, and that would be another, that it's a great, the people who serve on that board have such a network of people that they could reach with that. So I think if we could just get that over to WCATA.
Okay, and
That would
it's,
be
it's a work group that they're recording videos that will focus on this whistle, so they might have like a, some input.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would love for WCATA
Okay.
to be able to either opine or participate or whatever.
Okay.
Anyone else have any reports? Now, moving to unfinished business. Any unfinished business? Yes.
Sure, yeah, so I'm not really sure if it followed this or not, but anyway, the first resolution we did tonight, the controversial resolution, I actually learned something from that, and I'm not really sure if it's, like some facts are facts, and maybe they're not, but Atlantic County is the poorest county in the state that came
No,
out in
We're
a
not the
couple,
poorest.
We're
We're not the poorest.
amongst the
We're like,
poorest.
yeah.
Whether that's true or not, I mean, listen, we're well managed.
Yes.
We, our taxes are low.
Yes.
Our property values are probably lower or much lower than they are in North Jersey because we're not right alongside of New York. And we're still well managed to, your taxes aren't so high that you can't afford to live in a house. And I think there isn't probably a better place in the state of New Jersey to live than in Atlantic County. So be it. If we have to live in one of the poorest counties, I think people do very well in Atlantic County,
Our services help with that.
mostly.
Yeah.
Do we have a lot of people that are on public assistance? Yeah.
And that's what.
And I guess that's another reason why our kids count numbers are always, high. But, I think with, what we have to work with here in Atlantic County, I think we do a phenomenal job.
Many of the services of the hardworking people that we have,
Mhm.
throughout the county.
To dovetail on what you just said, Commissioner Bowles, we just learned, of course, today, made public that we had our 24th perfect audit. Our finances are in great shape. We have a AA bond rating, which is the envy of other counties. We have low debt in comparison. And that's because of our staff and the consistency that's been applied to our budgeting over the years. And I'm talking many, many decades. And, we had something really exciting happen recently that some of us made was the groundbreaking of the second building at our Aviation Research and Technology Park. We're looking, to expand aviation in every way possible. And we're moving along and moving as fast as we can. We'd all like to have a magic wand and created a whole new industry overnight, but it takes time. And with the creation of the second building, success breeds success. And hopefully we'll keep building out that park, and that'll provide jobs in many, many different areas of aviation, things we're not even thinking about right now. Mr. Chauffeur has plans to build a 4-story, 111-room hotel adjacent to the aviation district, the restaurant, convention center. There's some big plans going on out there. So we're all excited about it because we have an opportunity to expand the aviation industry here in Atlantic County for our people.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, just to expand on you know, what you said about our audit and, I think it's 28 consecutive. 24 consecutive audits.
Right.
It'll be 28 soon, but 24 consecutive audits. What's even more impressive is, you know, when the county gets audited, when the audit is done.
Right.
You know, it's not just of the county office building. It's, you know, all the constitutional offices. You know, the clerk's office, the surrogate's office, the sheriff's office, and you know, the auditors go through them, you know, with a fine tooth comb. And, you know, any little mistake in any one of them constitutional offices, which is not, you know, pretty much overseen by county administration, you know, could flaw our audit. And we haven't had one in 24 years, which is, you know, very impressive.
And the other point, of course, to be made on that, just to complete that thought, is that we do change auditing firms every 3 years.
Correct.
So that's important to notice as well. There are other entities that don't do what we do. They don't change auditing firms. But we do that here in Atlantic County. Anything else under new business, finished business, new business? Do we have any written communications or petitions to consider? Hearing none, we'll move on. We'll open the meeting to the public at this time. Anyone from the public can speak on any topic. If you'd like to speak, just come to the podium. We have anybody online? No? Okay. All right. There'll be no public comment. We'll move into the good of the order. Does anyone have any items under the good of the order? If not,
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
will you make a motion for adjournment?
Yep.
Let me say that at 5:29, y'all broke a record. I was out of here at 6 o'clock because I'm going to Phillies game. So.
Oh, lucky you. You're not taking me?
Not this time.
Oh, jeez.
I wanted to make sure we was out on time, so if I kept parking to limited remarks, I could get out of here on time. But go Phillies.
You're gonna just barely make it. You're not there yet.
Go Phillies. All right, hearing no further comments, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. This meeting adjourned.